ready?
Great. Yes.
Do I just start whenever?
Can if you want.
There was nothing about
Hey.
the starry sky that night.
Alright, so this is Harry Potter 1 for the PC. If you've played this game before, you might not have played the same version as this one, because there's 5 different versions of this game. For PS1, PS2, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color, and then obviously the PC version. They're all considered completely different games, both casually and speedrun-wise, and have different glitches and such. Something to note about this game is there is a lot of cutscenes, but a lot of the glitches and tricks are based around cutscenes and making the cutscenes faster or skipping the cutscenes. So, yeah. Also, the movement is notoriously bad in this game, as you'll probably see when I start actually moving after this fairly long intro. There is two inputs per direction in this game, for the reason that you get double acceleration when you hit 2 keys to each direction. With the exception of the sides, when you turn you get double turn speed, not just acceleration, which actually speeds up the run quite a bit overall. And yeah, this is just they were too lazy to make the beginning of the game, I guess, so they just put it in picture form for a bit. When we get to the castle, there'll be actual in-game footage, though.
Do you have time for some quick donations here to start?
Yeah, this is a good point.
We got $5 from, let's see here, Kiliani, I'm tired, I'm sorry, Kiliani. He says, TK, when is Hundo? And then we got $10 from Rashla saying, hi TK, Raz here. This is a big fish. This big fish has left his warm sauna to do this run. I hope you dress warm to perform well. Just kidding, TK. Good luck on the run and have fun. You will do fine, and I believe in you, buddy.
And then we have $10 donation by Andrzej Gra. Good luck, TK. Go for 110.
I'll do my best. Alright, right there I actually did the first trick of the game. And basically, if you hold back, or if you enter a cutscene with the backwalking animation in this game, for whatever reason it decides to speed up the cutscene or the camera in the cutscene. And for certain cutscenes that actually speeds it up overall, because certain actions are based on the camera. So this cutscene becomes 2 seconds faster if you just hold back as it starts. And there's quite a few examples of that throughout the run. So, right after this, I'm gonna start the tutorial segment, which isn't too exciting at the first, but there's a couple of pretty neat glitches and tricks coming up soon, involving some cutscenes and such.
Hey Harry, remember me?
Also, Ron is
My brothers Fred and George have something to show you.
not very likable in this game. Let's just put it that way.
Follow me, Harry.
Nothing really to do here though, so again, if there's any donations, you could read them.
Well, we got $50 from Monk Person saying, hey TK, I didn't know you could come out of the sauna. Wishing you luck getting past Flipendo, though I'm still putting 300 power on your macros being left on. Be nice to Benny, get the troll super jumps, both of them. And lastly, did you try the bookcase?
I did not yet.
Yet.
I'm going to teach you how to climb.
Alright, so here they're gonna teach me how to climb. They actually teach me how to climb wrong though. They teach me to just run into stuff, which is really slow because it gives a slow animation. I want to jump into the climbs, and what I just did there is I jumped right before it, which gives a insta-climb. You'll see some examples of non-insta climbs later, and they look really ugly, but they're actually pretty fast. Basically, if you jump into a ledge climb in this game, if you go up, you will, like, the animation won't actually start until you land into it, so you can bring the ledge climb with you, and then do some magic with that later on. especially with boosting, which I'll explain later. And this isn't actually a cutscene, you can move during it. And I got the pink bean! That I for 3 weeks I could not get that pink bean in any of my runs, and I am amazed. So here is a cutscene at the top of the stairs, which, nice ledge grab, which I'll hopefully skip by just jumping around it and landing on this pillar right here. And also skipping the ledge grab by jumping from the pillar. And I'm collecting beans here because they are gonna teach me about cards, and they need the beans for some experiments. So yeah, just kind of collecting, and I'm gonna try to do a specific jump into this cutscene to get a ledge climb, so I can move during this cutscene now.
Experiments.
And then I'm gonna climb blindly up this this step section, and or these bookcases rather, and get to the next part, which is just a small little cutscene where Malfoy introduces himself.
Famous Harry Potter. I'm Draco Malfoy, and you do well to
Was
show
a pretty
me
good
respect.
tutorials.
These are my fellow
Yeah, that was a
students,
good
Crabbe
segment.
and Goyle.
I didn't really make any
Which Slytherins
mistakes.
are going to win the House
Alright,
Cup
so
and the Quidditch
right after this, you'll see me randomly going to the left, which
Go,
is,
boys.
it seems slow, but it's a skip Hermione's cutscene. They, for whatever reason, decided to just make it possible to run around it. So Hermione is skipping class now.
I am Professor Quirrell. Today we'll learn how to...
There is a skip for this cutscene trigger here as well, although you can't make it into class unless you do this this part, and I'll show that later on for the next part.
Release the...
And this is spell learning. Basically, all I have to do is draw along these lines, and hopefully I won't make a fool of myself. There we go. The lines he says before and after each drawing is completely RNG, and
I think you can...
yeah, it can vary by about 8 seconds per draw, or yeah, per drawing,
Try working
with some
faster
exceptions.
this time, Mr. Potter.
There's not much RNG other than that though in this entire run. It's mostly cycle based.
That's not the shape I expected.
This was pretty bad RNG except for the first line though.
Splendid. You may now enter
So
the...
Flipendo is a
Practice the spell.
quite difficult challenge, and
Potter?
I actually have this thing betting on whether I'll fail it or succeed on it in my chat usually to make it interesting,
Down the mouse.
because I fail it so much, and the reason is because there's quite a few difficult tricks in it, and it's a very technical dungeon, or challenge rather. Right here I'll do a walk on this wall to jump over the barrel. That's a very small use of a walk, but you'll see some neater uses of them later on in the challenge at the end. Dang.
Do you have a moment for a donation?
Yes, this would be a good time.
Alright, so we got $10 from Alien Squeaky Toy. Hey TK, don't softlock in potions.
Hey, that's my line.
And we have-
Alright,
Knock it over, Mr.
this trick right here is kinda silly. All I have to do is jump on this pot and shoot it while I'm on it, and it lifts me up, and I can jump onto this ledge and skip a like 30-second walk around, which is obviously slower.
I'll meet you
And it's pretty easy, but super easy to fuck up as well. Mess up as well, my bad. This next cutscene is possible to skip, but it's not something I will do at the marathon because it's extremely risky. If you get a camera lock, you have to make it to the next cutscene blind.
Gryffindor House Ghost. Now, this is a saved game book. When you touch it, your game will automatically be saved.
Do you want another one?
The game
Yeah,
will
this
restart
is
from
another
this
good
point.
time.
If you
Alright, so
faint,
$5 from Azaro
you can
Keikusu.
also load a
Gee
save
Harry,
game
I'm exhausted.
from the
I'm
main
going to
menu.
bed. Does brightness boost work in this game, or is that only in 2?
Brightness boost does work in this game, and I'm gonna do it in just a tiny bit now, the first one.
It actually gives you a lot more height in this game than it does in the second one.
Yeah, it does. It's It doesn't go as much to the sides as the it does in the second one, and forward as it does in the second one, but it gives you a lot more height.
Cast your flipendo spell on this block to knock it out of
So
the
here's
way.
a hyper jump, which is basically jumping up a slope. So I can make it up, unless I fail it, make it up onto higher things with the jump than I would be able to normally. To hopefully skip some ledge crabs and such.
Up to safe book.
Yep. I always forget that save book when I do no reset runs, and it's scary. Because there's a couple of pits coming up. Alright. No? There we go. So what I did there is, first of all, I did something called a brightness boost, where I changed my brightness as I climbed the ledge, which boosted me into the air a little bit. And you can do that as long as your animation is going. And I also set up a glitch, so the first screen of my menu is now my options menu to make those faster. And here I'm gonna do a jump to skip a cycle, hopefully. Like so. It seems easy, but it's pretty tight on the timing. And that's another wall walk. Right there. And here's... Yes.
Good job.
I was... That was the thing I was the most worried about in this entire run. I wasn't gonna do those strats because they're really risky, but I felt confident about them, so...
This is a no
Basically, in this game, walls are like made up of several smaller walls, and you can kind of walk on the seam between them
move quickly and
if you do specific movement to sort of clip into the wall a tiny bit.
Do you have time for some donations?
Yes, this is a good cutscene for that.
Alright, we got $5 from Red Tusk saying, "Good luck, friend. Had to stay up and support my favorite Norwegian." And then we have $100 from Waldus saying, "Hey TK, Waldus here. Where is the incentive for unicycle anniversary?"
back in their Gryffindor
Yeah,
common room, Harry,
that's
Ron,
probably a
and
bad
Hermione
idea.
Talked about their exciting first days at Hogwarts. There was much talk about the break-in at Gringotts Wizard Bank, but there was little time to dwell on this, since Harry and his friends were expected at their flying lesson with Madame Hooch.
Alright, so this is flying. It's,
I am your instructor, Madam Hooch.
It's a lot harder than it
First lesson, you will
looks,
fly
Yeah.
actually.
through these magic rings.
let's see if the audio gets messed up. It did. She just didn't say anything. Alright, there we go.
Yeah, the audio in this game just likes to randomly not work. It's not very good at.
Ready, Potter?
Yeah, especially during the flying sections. The you'll hear Lee Jordan later on. I do not have inverted broom controls on, and I need that because I'm bad.
Mr. Potter.
So the rings get progressively harder. Like first they turn smaller, and then they also go up. Because the first ones are all just on the ground, but I think like now they also go
Yeah.
up, and eventually they'll also start moving.
This is also a good time for more donations, by the way.
These rings.
We have no more donations at the moment.
Alright. I don't want to slow down other than for that ring right there, because that turn is too sharp to make without slowing down, at least for like tiny bits. I let go for probably half a second at most.
Let's try it with
And here's the moving rings. They are not very difficult, but it's so easy in this segment to just fly past the ring
Well done, Mr. Potter.
and not grab it, which loses about 4 seconds per, give or take. Alright, that went better than I expected, so that's not too bad.
A perfect score. 20 points for Gryffindor. From now on, you may practice flying at any
This next
time.
segment is
You will
kind of
find lots
interesting
longer
because
than
it's what we've wanted to be able to skip for the
Time for your
longest
child's
time.
lesson now. Good
Like,
day, Mr. Potter.
since way before I started running this game, this has been a theorized skip. Basically, in this game, you don't need the spells. You have all the spells from the beginning, but they kind of make an illusion of you learning them. So, if you could skip the Alamora here, you could just keep going without it, and it would save a lot of time. And The theory is to snipe the lock through the door, but nobody's been able to do it yet, even after years of trying. There's also a glitch with this drawing that might happen where you get like, yeah, there you go. Of course. It's super rare and nobody knows how it works and what causes it, but even if you draw perfectly, sometimes on this drawing you will not get the percentage you need, so... You know, of course that happens. It used to happen to me every run, and there was a counter, but now it only happens randomly and I don't tend to do anything about it. Just take the time loss if it happens.
Great, Harry. I'm sure Professor Flitwick would give you 5 house points for that charm. Practice makes perfect.
Also, I should mention we only do one of the drawings, because you only are required to do one of them. The rest you can fail. If I were to finish this one, I would have to do another one and then another one. I think there's 4 in total. Yeah, there's 4 in total.
Now you try using
And it's obviously slower to just skip the last 3.
the charms lesson. That door in front of you is magically locked. Cast Alhamora to open it.
So this is basically the segment we would skip if we could just get past the Alhamora. But
Now, can you find the 2 secrets in this
fortunately we cannot.
If you're done admiring yourself, Harry, take a look at that magical chest.
So coming up is a pretty interesting trick. It's basically, hopefully Hermione is gonna get stuck on these stairs outside of here. Right there. Alright, that's good. Then I jump on her to stop her and enter this cutscene. And her cutscene will play at the same time, so I can move during this. And then I can enter this cutscene at the same, or at a specific time, so now I'm playing or going into the next area of the challenge while doing the spell drawing. Hopefully.
Good work, Mr. Potter, but you still have room to improve.
I would have liked to hit the block in the next room during that cutscene. I have one more try though.
While you try that, we have $28 from Crispy Hanako saying shoutouts to Mergy and his 7 trials to Glory Run. Love Crispy.
Alright, so unfortunately I failed it, so just gonna have to watch the cutscene now, or the remainder of the cutscene.
It's kind of...
Yeah, you basically have to shoot this block blind, and all you have to go by is an audio cue, and it's not very... As I mentioned, the audio is very inconsistent in this game. So sometimes the audio of you hitting the block will just not play, because it'll cut out completely. And here's a similar jump to the one in Flipendo, although in this one you don't need to shoot the pot to be able to make it. You can just jump over the railing. Shooting the pot makes it easier though. And here's a block clip. This is technically usable in 2 places in the run. We'll only use it here though, to clip that block in and skip having to open up the gate. And for some reason you just can't do it on the other side. I've never been able to be explained why that is, but you just don't seem to be able to. And that's a super jump right there. Basically, in this game, if you clip up or down a ledge, just slightly, you gain a massive amount of speed, and if you jump on the frame that happens, you basically keep that speed because you cannot lose speed in the air. So you can use that for movement in this run, or you can use it for skips, such as this one.
They're pretty finicky though. The timing is very precise. So it usually takes a few tries.
Come on. I get the insignificant one, so of course I failed this one. There we go. Just skip that part, and then I spellcast into this door right here to deload the cutscene.
For whatever reason, if you hit that cutscene trigger with the spell, it just disappears.
Yeah, apparently Max G explained that it is due to particles deloading the cutscene or something. It only works on the end of spell learning cutscenes. And here's a neat, interesting little segment that I'll hopefully do good. Basically, I skipped Peeves right there, so logically I'm gonna go fight Peeves now. And the idea is that I want to make it down to the Fred and George cutscene and get hit during it. Which I didn't do, unfortunately. If I had gotten hit there, I could have moved during the cutscene and then chained the rest of the cutscenes in the area and gotten out a lot faster. That is probably the most inconsistent trick in this run though, and I did not expect to get it. It is highly based on where Peeves decides to throw the thing. It's not RNG based, but you need good movement and specific timings for it to work. And for some reason, the lower the FPS you have, the higher the chance is he will hit you. And since we play this game at a pretty high FPS, it becomes pretty difficult to get hit.
This is as far as you'll be going. You won't get past
Luckily,
me.
there's a different skip to Malfoy fight though, other than just walking past them, which is the barrier for exiting this castle that's supposed to make you not able to go out before you beat Malfoy is not a solid barrier. All you have to do to get past it is jump at the right time and then let go of the inputs, because you will not lose speed while in the air, as I mentioned. And the wall will only push you if you're holding an input. It'll push you in the opposite direction of your input that you're holding. So if you hold nothing, it will not push you at all, and you can just land in the loading zone.
These are the Hogwarts castle grounds, and I'm the gamekeeper, of course. Can't believe
this would be a good time for donations.
We have a $10 donation. Hey TK, sarcastic here. Good luck and safe trip back to Sweden. I assume he means Norway though.
No, he means Sweden. There is a running joke about how I'm Swedish. For some reason.
We would happily accept you.
Alright, so there is a skip for this cutscene, but it saves less than half of a second, and it is basically impossible to do first try unless you're a god, so not gonna attempt that. Here is a damage boost though. It's similar to the ledge boost earlier, where you boost by jumping into damage and then using that animation to basically go up in the air. And I'm gonna use it again here to get onto the maze here. To skip the gates and to skip the maze. And then it's time for the next spell challenge.
Welcome, class. I am Professor Sprout. Today we'll
This is another good time, by the way.
spell, which is useful against
Well, we just got $50 from Anonymous saying, what am I doing up at 5:30 AM? Watching some great games being destroyed, of course. Had to donate during one of my all-time favorite childhood games. Go Harry Potter and all the people at ESA. We also have $5 from Livar saying, I love Harry Potter.
Something I forgot to mention about the spell learnings is if you get 80% or more on the completion, you will have a different set of lines you can get. And generally speaking, those lines are better, because they're slightly shorter. The exception is for Lumos and Flipendo, where there is a chance of getting a really long line about house points. But other than that, we tried to get 80 plus.
Now it's time for the Incendio challenge.
Incendio is probably the least broken challenge in the run, although it has a lot of small stuff that just adds up. And it can be
Those are spiky bushes.
it can be a place to lose runs, just because of all the silly little things. So this next cutscene, I'm gonna try doing a kind of stutter backwalk into it, or rather, I failed it. Basically, if you walk backwards a tiny bit and then hit forwards, you will walk forwards with the backwalking animation. That makes the camera faster, as I mentioned earlier, and in some cutscenes that speeds it up overall. For that cutscene, it's less than a second though, so it's pretty insignificant. And I'll be using that for bigger time saves later on. Here's another boost. Boosts are more used in the second half of the run, which is basically where I am now, so there's some interesting uses for it now. Here is a... you're supposed to kill the gnomes and then open the door to the next area and then place some blocks and do a bunch of silly things, but you can just kind of cast through the metal gate there and skip that whole second room.
And the gnome hit him during the cutscene, which allowed him to move during it and get to the door before it finished.
Yeah, similar to the ledge grab earlier on. And I also make sure to backwalk during the cutscene, because again, it speeds up the camera, and that cutscene is entirely based on the camera. Here I'm gonna do a different method of moving in a cutscene, where I'll trigger both of these cutscenes at the same time, which for some reason that lets you move in the cutscene, so slightly faster. And it also plays the cutscenes at the same time, so. Here's an instance of like bringing the ledge grab with me. Or not. You can skip the second ledge grab there by kind of ledge grabbing into the next ledge. If you don't hit those blue plants, they will ruin your day. If you get stuck behind them, you will die. There's nothing you can do about it. Small little boost there to skip this walking section, mainly because the plants will likely hit you and lose you time if you don't. It's about the same speed as doing it normally, though.
Yeah, so this is a really cool puzzle.
Yeah.
You're supposed to shoot all four, but you can just shoot one 4 times, and that works too.
Yeah, this game doesn't care much for triggers, really. And right there, I can close the door barely before the cutscene starts and get around the cutscene trigger because of that, so I can skip the cutscene. And that's another cutscene skip right there, where I do a hyper jump onto a bush to skip Haggard because he's slow.
Here comes Neville.
And he likes to talk.
Upset. Let's go and see what he wants.
This is a good time for donations.
So Longbottom has gone sniveling to you, and you want me to give you his precious remembrall. I think I'll leave it somewhere.
We don't have any donations at the moment.
How about up a tree?
Alright. Basically, this is just... They're just gonna fight Malfoy now, because he's been bullying Neville. And the fight itself is pretty easy. Once you know how it's moving and how the fight works, you can usually do it really fast. There's a tiny bit of RNG at the beginning of the fight. If he throws a bludger early on, that is faster, because he'll slow down earlier on. Which he didn't do for me, unfortunately. It's pretty rare. I have never seen that before. Actually, no, I have. It happened earlier, during a co-op run. With Remy Demi. So yeah, I didn't know about that until earlier today, so actually I have seen it before. I don't know why it slows you down on, like, here. It does not slow me down when I normally play, but for some reason today it decides to slow me down when I hit the hit button.
You've got my remembrall back. Thanks, Harry. I'll be able to find my toad now.
Not a major time loss though.
Come here, Trevor. Come back.
So here Harry gets recruited into Quidditch, and then immediately gets told he has a match later on, so
Mr. Potter.
Doesn't even know the
I'm
rules.
Professor
Never heard the game before.
Deputy Headmistress of Hogwarts.
Has no idea what
and head
Quidditch
of
even is, but
Gryffindor House.
he's in the team now.
Although I do not approve of your chasing Malfoy about.
It's okay, he'll learn the
I
rules
admit
when he
you have
plays later on.
remarkable talent on a broomstick.
It's
fine.
pretty easy, actually, it turns out.
Ordinarily, first-year students may not compete in
Very
Quidditch.
fast.
In your
Yeah.
case, we might overlook that rule. Harry,
This next area has gone through some different strats, even just since I started running this game.
see you then.
Basically, it used to be done with, like, going through it normally, obviously, and then it was found, like, a bunch of different ways, and then people settled on a super jump method, which is very inconsistent, and then a couple of boosts were found, and recently we discovered that you can do a thing called a horizontal boost, which is kind of based on... It's kind of based on how you grab the ledge. So I'm gonna have to try to bring the ledge grab away from the log, and then boost during Harry's turning.
Do you have a second for a few donations?
Yeah, now would be a good time.
Alright, so we have Anonymous, $5 donation, because there aren't any donations. We have Anonymous, $1 donation. Hey guys, having a great time watching while my wife preps the ball. Keep up the great run. And then we have $1 from Raskhla, saying, TK, how could you fail the Ras? Rip sub. And we got another one from Star Commander 26. I love you.
Alright, so that was Forest Edge. It's basically just done with, like, as I said, a horizontal boost, which is also referred to as a Superman boost because of how Harry's in the air while doing it. This next area is kind of interesting. It's during in this cutscene rather, there is a second trigger that will trigger the final cutscene of this area, which you will not hit during the normal cutscene, but during a race, a runner by the name of Respert did something. We don't know what he did, but he managed to hit that trigger in the first cutscene, so he just skipped the entire area and just saved a bunch of time on everyone else. And that was before boosting and everything, so we had no way of skipping this area in any way. And unfortunately, since it was during a race, he was playing on his alt account and didn't have like video or past broadcast on or anything, so we don't have any video of it.
But there were people watching his stream, so it's not, he didn't like make it up. It actually happened, we just don't have a recording.
We have a different way of skipping this though. Basically right here there's a trigger. And I'm gonna boost, or I did boost up out of bounds, and I'm running back now to hit this, which is what I made appear when I hit the trigger at the corner. And basically, now I'm in the final final cutscene of this area, pretty much. The only problem is that Hagrid never spawned, because I never finished the area, so unfortunately I have to wait about 2 minutes for Hagrid to get forced into this area again. So if there, again, is any donations, this will be a really good time.
We have one anonymous donation, $15. Hey TK, good luck with the run. Vault skip hype.
So, how's it going, everybody?
These are my friends. The pig is named Steve, and the doxy or pixie is called Benny, named after the song I usually play during this part.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's absolutely nothing to do here. Like, I could run around, but that's about it. There's nothing.
But this is still faster than actually doing the area.
Yeah, the segment takes about 4 minutes, and waiting here takes about 2, so it still adds up to quite a bit of time save.
Also, he has to be careful to not get hit by the pixie too many times, because it does damage and will kill him, and then he has to do the entire thing over, so...
Yeah, and that has happened a little too many times to care to admit. He's being pretty nice today, though. Never mind. Yeah, definitely never mind. Let's be careful. You'll see Hagrid spawn in at the bottom left corner when the cutscene is over, which will hopefully happen. There we go. If I get hit by the Pixie or Doxy rather during that cutscene of going up the stairs, I softlock the game and have to redo that entire segment, including the 2 minutes of waiting. And again, that has happened a little too many times to one admits. I also made sure to backwalk into this cutscene. I think it saves about 3 seconds based on the camera movement.
He's a Norwegian ridgeback, you know. Up you come, me beauty. Thanks, Harry. Here.
It's also worth noting that even though I took a lot of damage there, I'm completely fine with health now. Because of the
Best get ready for Quidditch now. Should be an
because of the way the loading zones and save points and everything works in this game, you get half health back if you're below that. If you save or hit a loading zone in any way, which is very convenient. So here's Quidditch. Harry doesn't know the rules yet, but he'll do fine.
Shout out to Lee Jordan.
Yeah, Lee Jordan is great. He almost knows how to speak.
The Quidditch pitch has 3 goals at each end. The chasers throw the cockle and try to put it through the...
He's usually pretty good at the beginning though, but when this match starts, he'll go nuts and just say random words that he feels like.
Good music.
Oh yeah, the music is not good right now.
It's completely normal. It just happens in this game because...
Also, the low graphics, I play on that because of the boost mainly. And there's some nice effects here with the grass at the edges because of that. It is very realistic of a game. Alright, so Quidditch is basically just stay clear, or close to the snitch rather, and hit a button when you've caught it.
This first part is like completely consistent, and the second part where he has to play the mini game where the snitch goes like back and forth is actually kind of random. But it's usually very consistent.
Yeah, it can really troll you though, where it will go close to your hand, but not all the way, so you cannot catch it. And if you miss 3 times, you have to like you miss or drop the snitch, and you have to catch it again. And that's a big issue usually because most runners don't know the pattern of the snitch after a certain point because they always catch it at pretty much the same spot. So if that happens, it'll usually be like improvised strats after that.
Do you have time for some donations?
Yes.
We got $5 from Anonymous saying 5 points for Gryffindor. We got donations from Linkboss saying I love Steve and Bunny, but not Alan. We got $5 from Gold FNX. Hi TK, can you go a little faster so I can get some breakfast? God bless. And we got Luigi Dude 851 with $10 saying rip Benny healthy, good luck fish. And we have another anonymous donation saying hey TK, any chance of a unicycle any % run of HP1 next Potterthon?
Potentially.
Really? Are you serious?
So to explain what they mean, since it's been mentioned a few times and probably will be mentioned again, unicycle % is basically a meme run that I decided to do. Basically, back when I did OT, I would do Ocarina of Time on a unicycle, and it's escalated into now doing HP games on a unicycle, I suppose. So yeah. Memes and all that. Alright, so here is a couple of skips coming up that are fairly new, only a couple of months old, and they are pretty neat, so hopefully... Okay, so I have to get really close to this cutscene right here. And there we go. Nice. I have to get a clip onto the wall, and basically that will let me skip this Snape cutscene, which is about a 1-minute cutscene. And likewise here, I try clipping onto this wall, which skips the spell learning, so you don't have to see any more spell learning in this game. There we go. And then a little controlled super jump here, which always happens. If you run onto something that makes you bounce, if it's a good height from what you walk off on, you will always super jump. So there's a couple of potential super jumps in them.
You may begin the Lumos challenge to practice the spell.
Yeah, and you couldn't do the same skip earlier in Flipendo because there's no loading zone to take you to the challenge.
There is a loading zone actually, but it's behind the door, so you need to open the door somehow.
The mouse button to aim the spell,
which we don't know how to do yet. You can also skip this Lumos statue and the cutscene following it by doing a super jump, but it's a very specific one, as in there's little room to move, and it's just very awkward with the camera and everything, and doesn't save much. So this is Lumos. It's pretty straightforward. Main thing in this segment is I will backwalk in every single Lumos statue except for the first one, because the camera is just faster. And the rest is just basically boosting. So usually you'd have to climb like up all of these platforms, but if you do a sliding ledge grab like that, you can kind of boost onto the platform and skip that entire thing.
We got a $10 donation from Walder saying, "Get this madman a unicycle already."
Really should have brought yours.
Wouldn't have ended well.
We also have a $2 donation from Fister Minister. I did not log in on that $15 donation before. Here, TK, earlier on Hype.
Alright, so this room is pretty fast. All we have to do is activate this Lumos statue, and then I can use that to get a sliding ledge grab and then yet another boost. Boosting completely broke this dungeon. Before we'd have to go up and do something called a long cast.
There are like 2 more Lumos statues, I think, in this room normally?
Yeah. The star in the middle of this room is very tempting, but if you pick it up, you will trigger a Peeves fight, so I try not to do that, although I have done it in the past. That ledge grab right there skipped a Lumos statue. And basically now I'm just gonna go below the end of the level and then just boost back up, skipping the entire last part of this dungeon.
There's a little invisible platform here.
Yeah, that's the Lumos platform from... That's the Lumos platform you're supposed to trigger at the top, but it's invisible until it's actually activated.
He also spellcasted to skip the cutscene and also hit the loading zone, which actually activated the loading zone and put him into the next area.
Yeah, for some reason spells can trigger loading zones. I don't know why.
Spells are truly magic. Also TK, hey TK, don't soft block at potions.
I'll try not to. Basically, this... back when I started running this game, there was this puzzle in the beginning of this section, which I would softlock on quite regularly because someone would curse my runs by coming in and saying, "Hey, don't softlock." And every time he did that, I would softlock. And there's nothing you could do about that softlock, or there was nothing at the time. Now we can skip it with a boost. There has been found a skip that we could have done before though, which we theorized way back, and a bunch of us tried a lot, but like we just couldn't do it, and then it was found like a few days ago.
That must be dissonant.
So I'm kind of mad we didn't have that back then, but you know.
Not, I think it was fine.
Where am I?
Of course he did.
I wonder if Snape tricked me.
Alright, gonna grab the save book real quick. So this is the puzzle that we can now skip with a boost. You're supposed to push these 2 big blocks and make a bridge for a smaller block to climb back up here.
What am I doing?
Sometimes the small one would get stuck and would not be able to move, so you couldn't finish the puzzle. And that was the soft lock.
Essentially, yeah. This boost here is kind of an awkward one. I have to try to do it off the platform I'm on. Alright, I got it. Most of dungeons is basically just movement based.
It's pretty basic platforming, most of it.
Yeah, platforming and just aiming while knowing where everything is. There's some pretty sketchy jumps, but other than that, it's fine. Like that one right there can be a little annoying, but it's usually fine. Here's the Bloody Baron. They make a big deal of him.
Oh no, it's the Bloody Baron.
And apparently a lot of people were scared of him as a kid, but you can just kind of run around him. He doesn't really do anything. I shoot those 2 gnomes before I enter the room, because if I don't, they'll start moving around and be actually hard to hit. This way it's a lot easier and faster.
That looks like Wigan Tree Park.
So this is the second instance where block clip could be used, the same trick I used in Wingardium earlier, but on this one it's a lot more specific and it saves less time, so most people don't go for it. And in this next area, I'm gonna hold forward as I enter the area, and that for some reason makes these blocks not move into the wall like they're supposed to, so I can just freely move around on them.
It's actually one of the harder boosts to get.
Dang. I have to boost up and land on the tiny pillar up there, which usually isn't too bad, but it can be a little tricky.
Do you have a moment for 2 donations?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so we got $5 from Luna Victis. Hi K, hi Rami. I'm too tired to write anything, so just take my energy for a good run. It's going pretty well, love ya. Then we got $50 from Jimbalicious, saying, don't soft like love, Jimba. And then $1 from Anonymous, saying, hey TK, would you consider a trade?
Depends what you're trading. If it's Wiggenweld potion ingredients, I don't want them. Only cards. Alright, so here is a here's a neat little boost that didn't use to save time, but when we found the menu glitch, which is the glitch I did earlier to make my first screen of the menu be on the first page, it became a lot faster to do that than just waiting the platform cycle, so it's worth doing now. And here I'm gonna try timing the jump so I don't get into ledge crabs, which went pretty well. Again, this dungeon is very movement based. There's a couple of boosts, but that's about it. You can shoot that block from the top, so you don't have to go down and climb it back up.
Okay, do you have a moment?
Yes.
Alright, we have $2 from Gasgage saying, Harry's a squeaker. Also, we'd like to switch hosts now because our shift ended, so good luck TK on the run.
Thank you so much.
Further 3 points from Gryffindor should teach you a lesson. I see you've collected a few challenge stars. but I'm afraid they have no value in my classroom. I've ended the lesson without...
Also, Snape has no face in this game.
The
Forgot to
other
mention
students
that.
are off to the Halloween feast.
They were kind of lazy on the faces in this game.
You must.
Harry! A huge troll is on the rampage! It's cornered Hermione in the girls' bathroom! She needs our help! We must try to rescue her straight away!
So Ron's AI is pretty bad here. If you make it up the stairs fast enough, he'll just kind of turn too early and walk into a wall, because, you know, that's what humans do. This next part is... the entire thing just doesn't make sense. They're going to save Hermione in the bathroom from the troll. They figure out the troll is here instead, so logically they're gonna lead it to the bathrooms. Because that is what friends do. Basically this is just a silly chase scene. You just have to follow the beans. There's a couple of tricks that I'll hopefully get. There's super jumps at the bottom of each sets of stairs, but it's they're frame perfect, so it's not likely. That's the first one, fortunately. The second one is coming up here. No, I went late on both of them. Other than that, this is a pretty simple segment. Just need to avoid the walls during jumps, or else you'll get stuck in void. And also you can fall through the floor randomly during one of the archways, which is apparently due to missing collision. I haven't been able to look into it though. But apparently that's what causes it. So yeah, now they have successfully lured the troll to the bathroom and locked it in with Hermione. So now they can go save her.
The troll is enormous!
Also, the troll is enormous.
Harry, I'll try to charm the troll's club so it bashes in the head. Wingardium Leviosa!
Here I just have to keep hitting the things the troll throw. There's nothing else to this. Just have to wait for Ron to drop the club on his head. So if there's any more donations, go ahead. That's not because of the shift change.
Nice music.
Yeah,
it just gave up completely at this point.
Yeah, the music in this section and Broomstick, it goes nuts.
Yeah, like that's not the stream. That is literally just the game not being able to play music correctly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, Ron got hit. That is fine. Loses a little bit of time every time that happens, but it's not too bad. Troll is being brutal today.
He's trolling you.
Remind me to punch you later. Alright, there we go. I've had times where the troll will hit Ron like 6 or 7 times, and at the end I'm basically just crying. Because it is not fun to sit through that fight, especially when it takes an extra minute.
It's a really silly thing to lose time to too, because it's...
Yeah. You usually expect like at most 1 hit. Usually none.
Goings on at Hogwarts. Harry suspected that someone had released the troll to distract everyone so that they could get into the forbidden corridor. But there wasn't much time to think about who was behind this, especially since Harry was busy preparing for the second Quidditch match against Ravenclaw.
Hopefully Harry will be on his broom or stand on his broom. No. Sometimes he'll stand on the broom there. for some reason. I don't know why. So here's the second Quidditch match. It'll be basically as fast as the first one. There's not much difference other than the path the snitch takes. Yeah, that one basically as I expected.
And Lee Jordan is still really excited.
Yeah, he is the only commentator to get the job as a commentator without being able to commentate.
Without being able to formulate words that make sense.
Also, if you get hit during the animation of Harry stretching out for the snitch, you will get something called jokingly referred to as a Hess. Basically, Harry will just keep flying in the direction he's going and you can't do anything. He's getting like a slide type thing. And usually when that happens, you won't be able to make the usual snitch catch, so you have to improvise again.
They're very rare. There was a note with the cloak. Your father left this in my possession, Harry read. Use it well. A very
Good chat.
Christmas to you.
Very good chat.
Really enjoying it.
Harry tried on the cloak, while Ron and Hermione helped to prepare for the climb up the tower.
So next we have the filch segment, the sneak segments, which are pretty interesting. They're kind of scary, but a lot of the strats he's going to do look very, very risky, but are very, very consistent.
Yeah, with the exception of a few.
Yeah, there are some that are actually risky, but most are pretty safe because we know pretty much exactly how Filch's AI works, so we can manipulate him very consistently.
Yeah, essentially if you're on the hardwood floor, he'll hear you. If you're on the carpet, he will not hear you. If you jump though, he will hear you regardless. And there's some other specifics with it. He can't see you because you're in the cloak, so unless you touch him, he can't see you. But he can see you while spellcasting. And he is very bad with, like if you're right behind him, he just can't catch you. So right here, I'm gonna take advantage of that, basically everything I just said there. That jump is slightly too far away, he won't hear that. And then I get a corner and I can sneak past him after the cutscene has ended, even though he's there. So I'm gonna grab this save book because Third Room of Filch is very brutal if it wants to be. There's quite a lot of stuff to do in there.
Yeah, it's a very long room and has some scary parts.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get in the corner here and then hit the switch. Which will get Filch here, but I should be able to sneak past him again. Like so. Good aiming.
Spell aiming in this game is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, movement in general is really weird. You cannot strafe in this game.
Yeah, Harry is a tank.
Alright, so here I'm gonna jump down to lure him away from the door and then going to shoot the switch and everything, hopefully, from there. Alright. That is probably the most sketchy strat in Filch that involves Filch himself. You can skip this ledge grab, but because it's a marathon, I'm gonna take the save strat.
Come out wherever you are.
Good aiming.
Yeah. Yes, little tank controls, as in you can't walk to the side, you can only turn in place.
Alright, so here's the ledge grab skip I was talking about. It's less risky on the second one because even if you fall, he doesn't catch you. On the first one, he'll catch you if you fall. Alright, so this next room is not necessarily difficult, because I'm pretty used to it by now, but basically I'm gonna boost up here, and I'm gonna get at the very edge here and try to get a ledge grab.
Nice.
Then I'm gonna have to do a very specific jump here and hopefully get a ledge grab at the other side. Yes, alright.
That small sequence of jumps is actually pretty tricky.
Yeah, that can really troll you, and if you fall down, you lose a minute, because there's a bunch of cutscenes and such you have to watch down there. which is basically what we skip. And it's very painful to miss that. So that's the first part of Filch. There is another part coming up after this cutscene. And the second part is a lot easier and less stressful than the first part, but they're both pretty bad. During good runs, like,
Ron's brother Charlie
you basically won't have a
arranged to
heart
collect the
after
dragon
this.
from the
It'll
tower
have blown
and
up.
return him to Romania.
Would you mind if I read in the donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
We have an anonymous $1 donation. He says, I have a bronze wizard card. I already have a prospective buyer, so you better act fast.
Oh. Really? That has happened before, but I think it was a year ago, so yeah. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm getting under railing so I can get past them, which you're not supposed to be able to do. And then you can get through the door and basically deload his cutscene that it's supposed to play when he gets to the door.
Aha! I've heard you for sure this time.
So this room is quite easy. It has my first ever strat of this game, my first contribution to this community. And it's basically, you lure them away from the door and then you just quickly run past them. It's kind of silly that it works. He's not a very smart man. Speeding up this cutscene with a backwalk. The next room is you're supposed to go into the side rooms of this next room, and then there's a Nick cutscene with the nearly head Nick that you're supposed to trigger, and then you're supposed to follow him around a bunch. But you can super jump apparently. That is not good. Oh god. Okay. Frame perfect failure.
Oh, that.
This is very sketchy.
How did the cat not get you there?
Oh god. Oh my god. Alright. Alright, go away, kitty. What?
So yeah, the cat can fly.
What? Since when? What? I've never. What the? Alright. I guess that is my what or never happened before. I've never seen Norris jump that high. She was in the roof or in the ceiling rather.
You can super jump too.
Alright. That's pretty interesting. Well, that was an adventure. We're done, or not quite done with Filch yet though, but
it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. That's my motto of this trip.
Harry turned slowly about. So you,
this is a good time for donations if there's any.
Have discovered the delights of the Mirror of Erised, said Professor Dumbledore. He went on to explain that the mirror showed nothing more or nothing less than the deepest, most desperate desire of our hearts, but that it would give neither knowledge nor truth. The Mirror of Erised will be moved to a new home shortly, Dumbledore went on, adding ominously that if Harry ever came across it again, he would be prepared. But prepared for what? Thought Harry.
It's very convenient for the game that you don't get taken out, because, you know, like, Dumbledore should have taken you out here and, like brought you back to the common room, but that would be too easy. You have to do more sneaking around. The next part is thankfully pretty easy, though. And, got some neat little tricks and such. Going to grab the save book here just for safety, because if I fail the next part, I will go back to the beginning of Filch 2 essentially if I don't grab that. I shouldn't fail it, but you never know.
As you just learned, the cat is very unpredictable if it wants to.
Exactly. Speeding up that cutscene. We didn't know about that for a long time, that cutscene in specific. We figured that out like a couple of weeks ago. So basically this room is just a big room with 4 side chambers, and each side chamber has a Wingardium block and a switch on it. Filch will guard the left side and Norris will guard the right side.
Someone's got past me.
And if I manipulate them correctly, I'll be able to do all the rooms fairly quickly and not get caught by them, because I'll get out of the rooms before they get there. And I want to end on the left side, on Filch's side. And the reason I want to end on that is because I'm gonna do a bit of movement to trigger a glitch, which is basically going to be... It's possible on Norris' side, but it's much harder because she can catch you during the cutscene. This way we also skip the RNG of Norris, because Norris has random movement in this part for some reason. I believe it's the speed of her that's random. So right here I'm gonna shoot the block as far away as I can, and then immediately start moving out. And hopefully hit the... Yeah, there we go. If I'm far enough out, by the time the Peeves cutscenes spawn, I will already be in it and be able to watch both cutscenes at the same time. And then during the cutscene, since I triggered 2 cutscenes, I can move, so I line up the next flipendo during the cutscene. Like so. Ooh, that's not good. Supposed to do the stutter backup thingy into the cutscene there. Unfortunately, I messed up the inputs. If you take the elevator down here, there's like this big dungeon that Fred and George has. They have a bunch of secret rooms in this castle, and it's kind of surprising they're not getting shut down by someone, but...
Magic.
Yeah, I guess. So that's the end of Filch. There's no more Filch, luckily, because Filch is stressful. There are still a couple of tricks, though, that are still worrying me, but I'll probably be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll survive.
Anyone would want it, said Harry. Hermione suspected that the package Hagrid had taken from Gringotts contained the Sorcerer's Stone.
Time for any donations?
Yes, this is a pretty long cutscene.
Okay, so we've got a $5 anonymous donation. Put this donation to something good, okay? But if you choose poorly, I'll judge you. Also, can we talk about favorite ice cream? Ice cream is delicious.
He may be planning to steal the
We also have a $3 anonymous donation. It says, I have a silver wizard card, guaranteed not to tarnish.
For the Ministry of Magic in London.
I'll take that.
Tonight's the night. Let's go.
They do tease another Filch section here, which scared me when I did my blind playthrough of this game, but luckily it doesn't turn out to be a thing.
Oh yeah, that blind playthrough it was something.
Yeah, that was...
Looks like Filch is somewhere else tonight.
That was not a good run.
Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna grab the save book here, just because I've never died to Fluffy before, and it would just be my luck to have it happen right now.
This way, Harry.
So this is probably the biggest time save to backwalk into. It saves 8 seconds to have the backwalk animation into this cutscene. You can start moving quite early.
I don't don't think we should go in there.
So the way Fluffy works is there's obviously 3 heads, and each head has a different speed.
Right behind you.
And you want to put each head to sleep based on the speed. You want to go slowest to fastest. And it's RNG which head is which.
That might put Fluffy to sleep for a while. Do be careful.
I believe that's the slowest. And you can cancel the damage animation of getting bit by just playing the flute again. I'm actually gonna die, ain't I? Alright, we're good. A weird change they made to the US version compared to the EU version of this game is you cannot play the flute during this cutscene in this version, but on the EU version for some reason you can. I don't know why. It can softlock the game though, so I'm glad you can't do it in this one.
You can jump.
Come on, Harry.
And at this point in the game, they kind of gave up on the dialogue. So you'll hear some silly things. For example, Hermione will mention twice that this is the Devil's Snare.
Yeah, I think this is the Devil's Snare.
Yeah, it might be the Devil's Snare.
It's a devil's snare.
Oh, it's the Devil's Snare.
Next time I'm gonna pay more attention.
I don't know, is it?
Help! It's a devil's
Oh, it is the
snare.
Devil's Snare. Okay, I wasn't
Try
sure.
not to get too close to those tentacles.
So basically all I have to do for Devil's Snare is hit Ron and Hermione all the way down. The rest of the vines don't matter. Just need to hit them. And at the end of every sentence here, they'll say Harry, which is really annoying.
Thanks, Harry. That was close, Harry. This way, Harry.
As I said, they kind of gave up on dialogue at this point. They might just not have expected people to finish the game. I don't know. So here's the last flying section of the game, and it's basically the same as Quidditch. All you have to do is get close to the key and stay close to the key. Which, as long as you know the pattern of the key, is pretty easy. That was basically perfect.
Well done, Harry. Let's see what this leads.
This next room used to be hell if you wanted to run this game seriously, because if you got a good time and got to this point, there was this trick. We still do it, but we do it in a different way now, and basically it would be very unlikely you'd make it past this point, even if you got here with quite a decent lead on your PB. But now it's become a lot easier. Thanks in part to Max G, who's helped improve this game quite heavily. So basically I'm gonna do a hyper jump from this thing onto the archway here, and then I'm gonna walk on the invisible walls, and then jump from the invisible walls onto the chessboard, and that skips the chess intro cutscene.
Also, whoever made this has no idea how chess works.
Wait, really? This isn't how?
No.
Basically,
I'm fairly certain it's not.
Yeah, basically if you just make any piece collide with each other, they will take each other out, and all you have to do is kind of move so because they will always move towards you, so you just do the same pattern every time and they'll just get destroyed. It's basically just walking in a diagonal line.
Come on, let's go.
Alright, gonna do some parkouring here. As long as I make it up to the door before Hermione, it's fine whatever I do here. Moving along the railings is slightly faster though.
Looks like you have to choose the right potion.
So here is the final example of a wall walk. I'm going to try to walk on this wall here to skip the entire potion puzzle. which is basically a similar to the whole something hidden in a hat and like shuffling around the hats or cups or whatever.
Saves a lot of time to skip.
Yeah, that's several minutes for sure. There's time for a quick donation if there's one.
I wondered whether I'd
Sure.
be meeting you here, Potter.
We've got a $5 donation from Caputi, who says, jet lag isn't nearly as bad when watching great content for a great cause. Greetings from Finland.
Alright, so we used to have to push the big block and the small block over here, because you'd have to jump on the small one onto the big one, and then from that onto the end. But what it can do, and don't do this. Alright. What you can do instead is you can just kind of do a quick boost from the small block. And then what I'm gonna try to do here... Alright. Oh, that is not good.
Nice.
Okay, we got it. That is a really difficult skip where you basically boost over 2 cutscene triggers to skip the final Voldemort cutscene. And it saves about 30 seconds, but it makes the fight a little harder because you don't have health, basically, so you can't take any damage boosts. Which would normally make the actual fight a little faster. So basically the way the fight works is he'll alternate. You'll hit him with a pillar and then you'll hit him with a mirror, like every other time. And when his health, that is not what I wanted. Alright, we good. And when his health gets to half like that, he'll break the pillars and he'll alternate between a normal shot and a homing shot. The homing shot will go through the mirror, so you can't use the mirror then. So basically just stand behind anything to block it. Other than that, it's just kind of go back and forth. If I had more health, I could take some of these shots and not have to hide, which is a tiny bit faster, but unfortunately I got hit too many times by a Quirrell. This is gonna be a little bit sketchy, but I think I'll manage. Because he's gonna be in a bad spot.
It'll be fine.
Okay. And that's time.
Good job.
To finish it up, we have 2 donations, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
We have Waldos with $10.